Welcome everyone. Today I have a new build update for my own Necromancer or the Infernalist Summoner with level 85. Now looking behind me, you can see my current stat with 2900 HP, and also you can see most of my resistance at 75% with 68% block. Currently we're doing a tier 18 map to unlock the final Atlas points that is available in the game, which I mentioned in the previous video. So let's briefly have a look at this slightly under-leveled Infernalist and what has been changed, what is different for this build. And yes, majority of the time we're still using the similar setup if you have been following our previous guide. We are summoning Raging Spirits through the firewalls, and the minions will gain additional damage. But you can see something interesting, because I am running an auto aura that debuff enemies with Enfeeble, which enables me to have more survivability and also, just to be a little tanky, less likely to die. Because in the harder content with tier 18, things can hit quite hard. And of course over here what you can see is, majority of the time in the fights, my mana is protecting me. Of course I'm gonna mute the whisper, better focus on the fights, right? So usually in a tier 18 map, monsters can hit harder, especially with certain modifiers. But if you can control your character and also just know the rotation of the skills, you won't have a difficult time as long as you are matching the level of the map, or you can even be under-leveled if you have the right gears or the selection of the skills. And just briefly going through the replay, I have shortened the replay a little bit so you guys can see the whole setup. And because we're fighting a tier 18 boss, again, we're using the swap. Now why do I want to swap? Because I'll show you guys in game, if you don't swap those two gems, you are doing 50% less damage. That's right. And here I also have my backup gloves and also my backup boots. Now why do you want to swap for those? Because if you swap for those, you have more survivability, and my summons went from 21 to 27 skeleton archers, which increased my damage by close to 30% and also even further. So briefly fast forward into the boss, because this boss actually took a while to summon. So the boss have a pretty hefty energy shield. Once you break down the energy shield for this particular boss, you can see my damage is not bad for level 85. I wouldn't say my gears are the best, and yes, I will go through with you guys how to get the step-by-step gears with a cheaper version as well if you don't have the budget or if you don't have the certain items. And here you can see, finally got my last 2 points, unlocking the tier 18 boss that provides you with extra points. And of course, after the boss, we're going to go back to the mapping setup. This setup is great for AoE clear. You will have 50% or even higher less damage, but that's enough even for tier 18. You can see that we can mow down enemies within seconds, and we have a lot of survivability. Again, if you want to see a shorter version of this run, this will be available at the end of the video, just so you guys can see the demonstration of this particular setup. You can see, sometimes I will lose a little bit HP because I'm casting my Pain Ritual. Pain Ritual costing me 15% of my life, so this is the time I lose HP. It's not because I'm taking damage, because we have Mind Over Matter, so majority of the time you take damage, your mana tanks up for you, and this makes you extra durable while mapping. And just finishing the last elites over here, as you guys can see over here. And at the end of the video again guys, I'll show you guys all my stats, my current gears, my gem setup, and also the important jewels that is available on the tree, which you can look at the stats and the reasons behind it, and we'll also go through in this video. Now as a small teaser, I also want to show you guys our build can potentially have 600 spirit. Yes, that's right. So the takeaway is I was using a +2 minion skills with a 40 spirit, and here I was using a +3 minion skills during the replays because I want to try to see the damage. There isn't the biggest damage change, and I will be making more guide to see which is better, the more spirit or the more minion ranks. But you can see here we have 599, just one shot of 600 spirit for this particular setup for level 85. So yes, I'll go through the choice of the amulets with you guys as well in this video. So what I do now is I want to go through my gears, my links, and also the choices of everything that's related with the passive tree. But some of you might be saying, hey Matt, how come you have so much spirit? How come this is so expensive? How come your gears are much better? I have made and taken the time to make another budget guide to teach you guys how I got to those gears. It didn't happen naturally. There's pretty much a 3 or 4 step progression of how to get your weapon, how to get your helmet, and we have the budget filters that I'll show you guys. So yes, I won't leave you guys out. You can see all the filters that is available here, and this will help you. Even if your budget is under 1 divine, you can get a lot of upgrades to follow this particular setup in the lower levels. So coming over to my character, you can see that my skeleton snipers, similar to our endgame build, I have Brutality, Heft, Feeding Frenzy, and here we have Fog and also Scatter Shot. This is why I do mapping. Now look at my damage over here, and I'll show you guys the unbuffed skeleton minions, which if we click over here and also click basic attack, I think, okay, they have to be summoned. Once I move a bit, they're summoned, they can be seen. So you click on basic attack, you can see this is about 6,000 damage per second. Just keep in mind of this number. Now I'm gonna press E, and then skeleton sniper's damage is all the way up to, how much is that? Oh, let me click it. So you can see that while the ritual is activated, my skeleton sniper's damage is almost tripled to 16,000 DPS. But this is not all. So this is one of the reasons we always run ritual, and ritual give us a lot of damage. So let me just take all of those 2 gems. So here I'm not adding gems, I'm just taking those 2 gems out. Notice that the basic DPS of the skeleton snipers is now 9,800. This is why before the boss or single target or difficult content, you can take those 2 out. Those will help you map faster to clear the entire map. But now if you click the other 2 gems I prepared for you guys as a bossing setup for Minion Mastery and also Minion the Martial Temple, notice our DPS is our 13,700. So this doubled my damage while you swap this. This is why you can see I swap in the videos, because if you want to min and max your gears, this means you actually have 8 links, because 6 links can be changed according to your selections, and this is even better. Now, of course, during this time, if I cast the ritual, our damage will be even higher. Oh, is that 35? I think it's 35,000. So the parent ritual will amplify this even further, and this is how most of the sniper build will do the highest damage. You have to understand the build variant. And if you come over to the builder's guide, you will see those build variant when you are doing bossing and when you're doing mapping. You can see those. I'll also be adding my own version of the build towards our mega builder's guide. So now we had a look at the skeleton snipers. The skeleton of summoning Hellhound is gonna be 6 link at level 90 automatically. So 5 more levels to me, but I heard that's pretty hard after level 89. So here we have Fire Mastery, Splinter, Heavy Swing, and also Demolisher to reduce the enemy's armor, so you can do more physical damage with the snipers. Over here you can see I actually start to try this weapon out with the Skeleton Warriors, because this allows me to have a little bit of higher level, additional resistance, a little tankier, and also mid shield. The Skeleton Warriors are just here for a lot of durability, while my Hound want to survive and also deal higher damage to armor break. You can still use the Malice weapon, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm trying to run a build that uses all the skeleton minions, and I want free skeleton warriors. So I sold my last scepter and bought this one. And yes, I bought those scepters for around 3 divine. I'll teach you guys how to buy those for cheaper as well. Now the Raging Spirit are supporting cards with Blind, Calling Strike, Main, and also Depopulate. Over here, Detonated Dead, I did try to use Detonated Dead. It is not amazing at the moment, so don't worry about this one for now. It's just to remove some corpses, which I rarely use. The biggest upgrade for a build for damage is gonna be Pain Offering. You can go Persistence, Application, Dense Macabre, and also Front of Rage. You can get this one to the next socketing, but likely it is a little too costly for the final socketing. For Flame War, I prefer Spell Cascade, Fortress, Arcane Surge, and also Mobility. It does help me to move a little bit faster. And yes, of course, this is the highlight for the Aura build. So here I have Besame. This one can be increased by quality for another 10% less reservation, which will save me around 6 spirit. So we have Enfeeble over here together with Experience and also Magnifying Effect to increase the range. And here I just have Hexbone because this is just extra socket. I'm actually not 100% sure if this is actually spreading. I don't think it is. So you just need a 3 socket Besame. You just need a 3 socket of this spell, and that's enough. Don't worry about this one. And in some vulnerability, I actually corrupted this one for +1 levels. So this is a level 19 spell now with additional benefits. We have Curse Ground, we have Heightened Curse, and also Inspiration. I'm not using Ball Offerings, and I rarely use Blink because in the high content, if I switch my gears and blink into enemies, that would be terrible. But this actually helps you with mini AI. So notice that I can change gears, blink, cooldown. And yes, this helps me resummon, relocate the minions. And this is a good practice if you did not see the previous video, which will be this one, to teach you about minion AI. I want to add a brief explanation of the additional, I guess not discovery. In case you guys didn't know, you can press this particular key. Oh no, let's not talk to the person. You can press this particular key. So here I'm pressing this key on the keyboard next to 1. And notice that you can command your skeletons, but you need to know that if you command your skeletons out of the range of a character this far, they will stop attacking, they will just stand there. So this is why the AI is not great, and this is why you need to understand the AI from the previous videos. I can auto cast my spells, blink, cast firewall, and resummon. And this is the best combination once you know the combination for any summoners. Now in terms of the passive tree, I do want to highlight that yes, my passive tree is a little skewed towards maximizing the benefit of this particular jewel. On the second part, we'll talk about the budgeting of this jewel and when you can consider investing into this one because it costs around 18 to 25 divine at the moment. There's a lot of other gears you can pick up for 20 exalt. So this is the takeaway. If you want to follow the build, if you don't have the divines for this jewel, it is okay. Don't stress out because in the previous build, you don't need the jewel and you can follow this directly. But if you happen to have this jewel or if you find this one in the future, you can then take advantage of my current setup, which actually maximizes my spirit. Look at my current spirit is around 558. If I take this jewel out and look at my spirit, it is 461. So this jewel almost gives me 100 more spirit because I actually packed everything in here with bonus strength and also bonus spirit. And this also gives me a lot more armor than usual summoners because we're short on armor. Now in terms of the rest of the skill trees, nothing major. I purposely try to perk for my minions to have over 60 or over 80% resistance. You can see my minions are 83% resistance. I don't have enough skill points to give them chaos resistance yet. I'm still deciding whether I want more damage with critical damage, which I unperk for now, or if I want more chaos resistance for the minions. Really depends on how juiced and also difficult the content is. You can see my skill trees over here, and what I want to show you guys is, yes, the gem sockets are here for 2% mana on kill. This still works perfectly as a budget mind over matter setup that gives you tons of restoration. And should you want to fight the boss, and the boss does not summon right, then you go with the previous setup with the gloves and also the boots for tons of more summons and also more survivability. Even the charm will give you survivability. And here I'm the greedy one using the frog charm, which gives me more drop rate. Now briefly going through my gears, I think this is also a good time I use my gears as an example for the next part. So if you're following this video, you can get close to 750 maximum spirit and also level 37 on your minions, but that's too much, right? So over here, what I want to show you is how did I budget my build step by step, starting with around 20 exalt items. So for this chapter, I started with a +4 minion skill and also about 20% spirit, and this actually cost me around 20 exalt. At around this time, this particular scepter is costing me 3 divine, and this is, I guess, a slightly more upgrade for me. In terms of the helmet, this helmet I bought for about 3 divine, and this was because I spent extra for the additional implicit of additional spirit together with minion skills and also tons of good stats. For this chest, I bought it for 1 divine. And here we can see that this is maximum life, spirit, additional spirit, and also a lot of resistance. For this amulet, I bought it very early in the game for about 70 exalt. Right now, the price is around 1 to 2 or 3 divine. Really depends what stats you're looking for. Ideally, you want to find spirit on the amulet, but this will take all the way up to 10 divine. I do have a filter to check, see? You can see those ones, they will cost over 9 to 10 divine once you have spirit and also minion skills, which can be a little more expensive. Now here I do want to mention, you can see my spirit is changing a little bit depending on the gears I'm using. And here we have 5, 6, 4. And finally, you can put down this particular amulet, which can also give you more spirit. Now the choice really depends on whether you think more spirit will give you more damage or more utility, or more minion ranks will give you more damage. During the replays, I was testing this, and you can see both are anointed with flash deflection. This is the cheaper anointment. Over here, flash deflection costs you around 1 to 4 exalt to make this. Now, it is possible to come over here for deflection for tons of more block chance. This is how my friend Dramkast gets about 74% block chance almost maxed out. But I do not have this point because I'm a little cheap. I run everything on budget, and you can see with those choice of amulets, you can get 600, which is amazing. Now for this particular amulet I'm using, I actually spent around 5 to 10 Exalt Orbs to buy the base one, buy the +2 Minion level, and then I slammed some Exalted Orb onto this to make this one. Today I got an offer for 4 Divine, but I'm still keeping this one because I want to have a higher Spirit ride. So just to show you guys how you can get some really good amulet for cheap, let me show you guys this live demonstration. So what you can search for is, you can search for +2 or you can search for +3. What you're looking for is something like this, which I just saw as I was making this guide for you guys. You want +3, you want anything good stats, but you want open modifiers, you can slam the additional, you can slam additional modifier onto this. So if the player actually sells this during the recording of this video, I'll be trying to buy this one for 20 Exalt and see if we can get lucky. Let's see if it sells it. Still selling. And this is how you can get some cheap amulet instead of buying those expensive amulet for 10, 5 divine. You buy the cheap ones just like I show you over here. Look for one that does not have all the stats as added. Then you try your luck in crafting something yourself. Of course, it is not cheap at the moment because sometimes it just doesn't appear to be cheaper, right? But sometimes when you get the chance, pick up the cheaper ones. Oh, damn, it's sold. So yes, you look for the cheaper ones like that, then you can try your luck. The other ways to try your luck is to try with Chaos Orb, and those can randomize a few things which can be a little more expensive. So this is how I got this one. I bought it for 5 Exalt, then I slammed the Exalted Orbs onto the empty space, you might have seen the previous crafting videos, to get the additional 40 Spirit. You always want to start with 2 million life, or 2 million rank, or 3 million rank, and this is the best way to start to get lucky into the Spirit. Now just to show you guys this is doable, have a look at my previous videos, and this is the exact amulet I just talked about to you guys. So it started with 4 modifiers and you slam 1 Exalt onto it, and I will show you guys over here. You can slam 1 and did not get Spirit right, but you can keep trying because it's 2 modifiers. And here I'm going to slam again, 40 Spirit. And that was actually shown, demonstrated in that video when I was crafting. I thought I made 100 Exalt back then using this method, and now this one is selling for at least 4 Divine. So yes, you can even see that video how I teach about crafting, and those are the ways you get so much cheaper for your gearing for any of the build. In terms of the rings, they cost me about 30 Exalt to 1 Divine. You might be surprised if you search filter by Exalt instead of Divine, a lot of good rings appear because people tend to filter things by Divine now. And I pick up this one for about 50 Exalt. This is about 1 Divine close to that range. Over here for the shield. This shield I picked it up for about 30 Exalt, and you might find one for similar for 1 Divine because I was searching for Exalt again. And yes, if you're wondering how I am searching for those items, you come over here, everything's ready. So I'll give you guys some examples. I'm not making this up, by the way. So here is the filters, and this will show you, to sign in. And over here you can see this will show you the price of items I just mentioned. With the incorrect base, this is only 3 Exalt, 4 Exalt, 5 Exalt. And here with a slightly more better upgrade, do they even have any? What happened over here? Let's have a look. Here I'm doing with Exalted Orb. Sometimes they don't have any free Exalt. Notice this is how you change it. Once you change it, you can see that those items will sell for about 5 Divine. But if you're patient enough, use the active search, you can find those for around 1, 2, 3, or 4 Divine for a cheaper price. And the links in this document is made in such a way that should you need to upgrade, go to the next link, because this will show you better items with higher Spirit and also better stats. So everything is made for you guys for easy access for any of the build you follow from us. And coming back to the items, yes, the belt I bought it for about 50 Exalt, and this belt actually had 5 FX. I added 1 more FX onto this to make this look a little better. For the boots, I bought it for about 30 Exalt, then I corrupted to gain additional 20 cold resistance. Notice most of my gears are corrupted with double socketing, corrupted with additional Spirit, corruption failed, too scared to corrupt this one, and what else? I didn't corrupt anything else. For those gloves, yes, you can buy them for 1 to 2 Exalt uncorrupted, then you're corrupted for additional resistance and also stats you're missing. Now, around this time, you might be wondering, if you're maxed out with resistance, you can also go with 2% life. This won't give you the highest life, but this will help a bit. For my current stats, this actually gave me about 40 life, which is not the biggest. I would have preferred to go with Chaos Resist to cap out Chaos Resist. So make sure you cap out the resistance before you go for the choices of additional life, because that won't be the biggest factor. So coming back to my budgeting guide and also tips, you can see this is exactly what I followed. I bought most of my gears for 20 Exile, 10, 10, 10 Exile, and I slowly work up towards this. The final upgrade for the Darkness Jewel is expensive, especially after making the previous video to teach you guys how to actually search for that jewel. Because it took me 2 days to figure that out. It was a bit slow. So after finding out how to search for the jewel, now the price will inflate a little bit. So before the price was around 12 to 18 divine, it went up by about 5 or 6 divine. But likely this will fall. If you're patient or lucky, you can find out about this. So you get your weapons, get your helm, get your amulet, then get the other gears, and then you get the 6th link of your primary jewel. You can be buying greater jewelers or perfect jewelers, or you can actually buy the whole thing for 4 divine. This whole combination will cost you around 3.5D. So you're saving 0.5 divine if you follow this particular method. And yes, this method can also come back over here if you want to farm the perfect jewelers. It is not easy, and some of the viewers have reported to get this one. Some of the viewers have not gotten this one even when they follow this method. So keep that in mind. So similar to all of it, guys, if you want to learn the build, make sure you come over here. You can see all of the build that is listed over here. And if you come over here to the docs, those are where the secret and also everything's revealed. If you keep scrolling, you're going to see all of the guide together with all the trait filters I made for you guys. The reason I don't put this onto YouTube with the description anymore is that the trait filters are too long. YouTube actually don't let me put that much writing anymore. So there's a lot of additional information I want to help you guys should you want to follow the summoners. I'll be making similar notes for future classes as well as we play those for the early access. So now briefly going through the score rotations for my own setup. Because I'm running an arrow with Enfeeble, this allows me to be a little bit tankier in the front lines. You can see I'm kind of moving forward and backward, make sure the enemy is kind of debuffed. Well, you don't really have to do this, to be honest. You can do what my friend Dramkast does. He doesn't run Enfeeble, he has a few more skeletons, and this allows him to deal a little higher damage. But for me, I actually prefer the safety of the little further, so running Enfeeble is a personal choice. So the auras, you can take them away. And most of the time, I'm actually not casting my vulnerability curse, because casting this will swap my weapon and take away my skeleton archers. I majority use my vulnerability curse against the boss and do the setup that I swap for the boss. And once the setup is swapped for the boss, I'll actually lay down the curse before the boss spawns. Notice that my weapons are constantly getting swapped, and the skeletons are getting resummoned for the highest damage after reset. And once everything is positioned correctly with your pen ritual, this does a lot of damage. And the boss is armor broken within 1 to 2 seconds to take any tier 18 boss and also uber boss down very, very quickly using this pretty good setup. Now, due to popular requests, I'll try to make the video a little shorter, but I want to share so much, so make sure you use some timestamps, guys. The video is a little long because I want to share and teach you everything I found. And in the future, I'll try to cut down the replays a little bit, because sometimes the replays take 5 or 10 minutes. I try to cut this replay down to about 6 minutes, but what I want to do at the end of the replay is to show you guys all the current gears and also important notes, so you can still refer back to this as well in this video. And this will give you the best information to have a look at the build's performance in a tier 18 map, and then look at the choices of swapping items, swapping different gears for the boss, and then finally look at the choices of the links should you want to look at this without the voiceover.